In this video, traders, we're going to look at what you should look for in a trading office if you're considering moving from a home office to an actual external office. Stay tuned. Hey guys, a warm welcome to you. All right, so in this video series, we talk about trading from home, the pros and cons, moving for a trading office, some of the tips and tricks to improve your trading, your current trading, if you're trading from a trading office, all this kind of stuff. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what you should look for if you are moving or deciding to move to a trading office. Now, I've had multiple offices and they've been different environments, they've been different with different people, so I can give you some ideas of what to look for in terms of how to kind of construct it for the best environment for you as a trader. So the first thing you need to decide is you need to decide, hey, am I going to share it with others or am I going to do it by myself? Now, in my experience, if you can find an office to share with others, that's better. You've got to make sure that there are some ground rules. Number one, you get on with them fine. That's to be trading your strategy. But number two, you respect each other's space. So if you're concentrating, you're busy, no one comes over and starts just sitting on the edge of your desk and telling you all about what they've done last night. That doesn't work. You know, you've either got to have a system or a code where you've got headphones on, or you've got something where you don't speak, or someone says, are you okay to talk? And you happily ignore them. Something like that. And you've got to have a person that understands and respects that. It's the same for you, for them as well. So if you can find a group of people like that, then I think you've got possibly a better opportunity, and probably cheaper as well, to have a group of you getting a trading office. Now, does that mean that you get the office and others pay you, or do you sign up together? That's kind of a commercial decision for you to work out yourself in terms of the risk and what have you of not paying. So you've got a couple of ways of doing it. You either go and you find a traditional office and you sign like a lease, and there aren't actually many pros with that. I mean, if you're looking to do this a long-term thing and you think, okay, I've got a long-term, then a lease may well be the right thing. But nowadays, right, you know, when I first went into an office, we were signing leases and we were doing all sorts of stuff, and that meant it was like a traditional lease and you had to get a solicitor to look over it. And it was kind of a big step and just seemed so erroneous. Whereas nowadays, you've got so many serviced office offerings out there, it makes sense to try it like that. You've got WeWork, you've got kind of Regus, you've got many. I mean, even in the city, I live in Manchester. In the UK, there's something like 50 co-working spaces alone. So what you can do is this: you can go into either a co-working space, which is where you kind of rent a desk or you rent an area, and there's no privacy there. You've kind of got a desk in the middle of kind of a big room, if you like, or a big section of rooms. You can put your screens there, but you've got to accept and understand that, you know, it's relatively cheap, but you don't have any privacy. You've got people looking, and people are interested all the time. You know, even if you've got a fixed office, people are kind of looking and seeing and asking you questions. And, you know, I remember back kind of years ago in my first office, people would always knock on the door and be like, oh, you know, which stock should I buy? And things like this. And you just laugh and joke and you think, this is frustrating, you know, I'm trying to concentrate here. But it's human nature, right? So going back to that, you can get yourself a desk. Now, that may be okay, but again, if it's a privacy issue and you've got people looking at your screens and stuff like that, and it depends on the location as well and where you are and how it's all laid out, but that's something to bear in mind. The other way of doing it is a lot of these areas do actually have dedicated office space, and then dedicated office space are different sizes. It's a room, and in there you pay generally per desk space. So if it's a 3-man office, you pay per desk, whatever that cost may be. And normally you've got to pay a kind of a deposit and upfront and stuff. That might be a better option. You can get two of you together and get a 3-man office. By the way, they tend to be a bit small. They say they're 3 men, but they're for kind of people who are working relatively tight. You're probably going to want to have a little bit of a bigger office, especially if you've got like a couple of multi-screen systems. You might want to, if budget allows, to go for a bigger office, a 3-man office and put 2 in, or a 4-man office and put 2 in. But that's the sort of thing you do. You pay a deposit and you basically would rent the office. Now, generally speaking, there's no leases. They're kind of under a different structure, like a right to occupy type agreement, like a hotel type agreement. And the good thing about this is most of the time it's easy in, easy out. So these kind of serviced office spaces or shared office spaces, or co-working spaces, they sometimes call them, with that area with dedicated offices outside of it, it means that you can go in relatively easily. You can go in straight away. The Wi-Fi most of the time is very, very good, and it's normally acceptable for trading from. You might have to pay for an additional data feed. You know, I remember trading in the second office I had, and we had a dedicated feed coming in, and it went down. I remember running down to the reception saying, "Hey, can we sort this out?" And they were just relaxed. There was no rush with it. I was like, "We need to get it sorted out now. You know, we've got trades on, the stuff's busy." Reset the server, whatever it was, we're back up and running. Anyway, now, you know, generally speaking, the Wi-Fi is probably okay unless you're aggressively scalping, but try it out before you commit. You might have to have a dedicated line and pay extra for that, which is at a premium on that. Now, some of these providers are better than others. Some of them charge you for every little extra thing. Obviously, if you're doing it from a trading office, you're not going to need any of the kind of normal business support that other businesses would need, like telephone answering service, mail handling, all this stuff that many people charge extra for, or many of the providers charge extra for. But back to the point of easy in and easy out, this is great for a trader because you can say, listen, I'll try out for 6 months, a couple of guys, we'll just all split the cost, we'll pay for the office. It's a 6-month period, there's a little bit of a deposit normally, but everything's there already. You haven't got to sign up to a new electricity company as you would do a traditional lease. You haven't got to sign up with a new kind of broadband company. You haven't got to pay any rates generally if it's just you're trading and there's no other business. You know, some rules and regulations around that, but if it's just for trading, you don't have to pay any rates, all this stuff. So it's literally all done for you, and you have a one-off payment, which yes, you may pay a premium for as opposed to like a very long-term lease, but it's perfect scenario to try it out with a few guys in your local city, in your local area, or even just you if you decide that it's just you who wants to do it. So you want to look for a place that's got a great internet connection and check that before you move in. You want to looking for a place that hasn't got any extra fees added on, you know, trying to sneaky add things on, like an extra for a parking space or extra for visitors or whatever. You want just all in, very easy, very transparent. So companies like WeWork are great for that. You know, there's loads of others out there. Regus were, I don't know now how they are. When I dealt with them, they were fine. The office was okay, but again, they were the ones that had the extra charges on. Whether it's different now, I don't know. So that's one thing you want to look for. You want to make sure it's easy and easy out, not a massive, real expensive lease, no commitment, so you can give kind of very short notice, move in, move out, great internet connection. You want to make sure it's 24-hour access as well. One of the big things for traders especially is you want to be able to either work late or go in early, and your hours are sometimes different, especially if you're kind of in the Europe trade, in the US markets. You might want to be there from kind of 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock until 10 o'clock at night, and you want to fit it around what you're doing, and that fits nicely. So you don't want them locking the doors at 7 o'clock at night and you can't get in. That makes no sense. So 24-hour access. Security is very important, right? Generally speaking, as traders, we've got a lot of gear. We've got like multiple screens, we've got, you know, powerful computers, and you're leaving them there. So depending on the building and the structure and stuff, of course, you know, a lot of them are within kind of bigger buildings and there's a security on the door. You know, there's like a gated area and there's a pass to go in and stuff. But some of them are just kind of buildings on their own, you know, depending on where you are, what town and what country, etc. Some of them are buildings on their own. So have a look at the security. Ground floor, you know, obvious security risk with that being broken into. How are people getting access? What's the internal door security like? Just stuff like that. It might sound extreme, but ultimately, you know, if you've got a serviced office building and you've got kind of 10, 20 different companies in there with employees as well, you've got several hundred, if not 1,000 people having access right up to your door. So you need to bear that in mind. Is it CCTV? Is it 24-hour security? How's it all monitored? Is it what's this kind of stuff? So that's worth thinking about. On the location as well, you want it as close to your home as possible, really. I know if you're kind of having multiple people doing it, then you've got to kind of triangulate and pick a best spot. Easy access via however you're going to get there. I mean, if you're going to walk to it, if you're going to take the train, or if you're going to drive. Now, you don't want to be spending extra time and money on commuting, because that's one of the benefits of being a trader, right? Especially for your own account, is you don't have to kind of chug away with the rest of society, getting into work and leaving super early, and just trying to, you know, sardines on a train. So if you can avoid that, it's probably better to do that if possible. And obviously the hours you keep and the hours you trade are going to affect that as well. So there's a couple of things to look at there, guys. You know, you rent, you know, the ease of getting in and out, and deposit, the kind of what you get included, the broadband and the internet speeds are very, very important. And one final thing, which most people kind of forget, is your phone signal, right? Your phone signal, amount of times where people, unfortunately never happened to me, we go into an office and I've got no phone signal. And that is so important, because not only most of the time is our redundancy, so if the broadband goes down, we want to flick to 4G and tether onto a 4G, but also if you're making phone calls to a broker, making phone calls around, just generally being able to communicate, family being able to get hold of you and stuff. You don't want to have to put a landline in unless you have to. And so when you've got no phone signal, you kind of, well, what do I do? So make sure you check you've got a phone signal, you've got a good solid signal inside the building, because often the case is someone goes, hey, I'm on whatever network it may be, and nothing, and the person goes, hey, I'm fine, I'm on 4 bars, so 4 bars. So there's a little tips for you guys. If you want any sort of ideas and tips and tricks that you've got, stick them in the comment section below. That help others. If you kind of have bought offices, or not bought them, if you've leased offices or rented offices before for trading or just for other businesses, then share your experiences, because it's going to help traders or any other people who are looking for maybe starting a new business or a startup, not necessarily just for traders, in the future. All right, guys, take care, whatever you're doing. Bye-bye.